Hello, Crafty Clan. Welcome to another live. Today we are going to cover the Etys transparency report because there's a couple of cool they just released it today, and there's a couple of cool nuggets in this. They mentioned it in the financial report last week, and I just wanted to look into this. So, without further ado, let us dive right in. So, firstly, there was this message on the Etys forums. Hi, everyone who's joining. Hi, Anna and Susanna. Hello again. I've just come over. If you didn't see me there, I was just live on the E-Rank channel, so hence why I'm a little exhausted. So this is from the forums. So, hi, I'm Alice Wu and I lead Etys Trust and Safety team. Today I'm excited to share some insights into the progress we made in 2023 to keep Etys safe and special. So we'll get into the report in a second, but this is a roundup of what they've done in 2023. So bear in mind what they talked about in the financial report is things they're planning to do in the future, and they're going to tell us what they've done in the past. Hello, created by EJF. I feel like I just saw you. Funny that. And Kat, hello again. So they just published the transparency report, which gives a detailed overview of our policy enforcement efforts. I'm proud to say improvements we've made to both our human and automated detection systems are helping more to accurately identify items that don't belong on Etys so we can remove them quickly. I think everybody's noticed that things have been being removed on Etys. In 2023, we removed 2 times as many listings for any policy violations and 4 times as many listings for violating our Handmade policy compared to the prior year. Certainly interesting. Hi there, Deb. I'm back for more. In the report, we look at our plans to build on this momentum. This year, we're focused on elevating the best of Etys, as they mentioned, the quality items and shop that embody our mission to keep commerce human. We're more committed than ever to suppressing and removing listings that violate our policies so that your unique items can shine, in addition to continuing to expand enforcement. Here are a few areas of key focus for 2024. Fruitanical, hello there. Yeah, so we will have noticed in all the forums and everything, questions we're all getting asked all the time. If I open another shop, is it going to get closed down? If I post listings, are they going to get shut down? We are hearing a lot about things getting shut down because, well, Etys are saying they're doing more of it. They're shutting down more things. There will be some mistakes, obviously, but at the same time, I think we can all also agree there's a lot more that needs taken down. So there's going to be more. This year, we're going to, if what they're saying is true, we're going to be hearing a lot more people say items are getting taken down. And it's sad when it's not against the rules, but quite a lot of the time, people don't even know that they're breaking the rules. Just check this is showing up okay. It looks good to me. Protecting you from spam and scam. Emails have been an issue. Human connection is what makes Etys so special, and we want to make sure that connecting and communicating with buyers is a safe and productive experience. We're already in the process of significantly increasing our efforts to minimize spam and scam attempts on Etys, including via messages. We're also providing more education and resources to help you protect your shops on and off Etys. So you've probably noticed the changes in the messages, which certain things like Etys automatically putting some things in your spam folder. I just wish they'd communicated it better because it was a surprise and some people hadn't noticed that things were going into their spam folder. I will be talking on Saturday about how Etys knows they made a mistake when people were spotting things in their spam folder, moving them to the inbox and replying to them and losing their star seller because they missed it for a wee while. I have word from a few people that potentially Etys will be rectifying that issue, but we'll talk about that. Enhancing seller verification. We've enhanced and expanded our seller verification process for new and existing sellers, including strengthening new shop onboarding to protect our community. I think we've all heard of that as well. Basically $15 to sign up to a new shop. They will be holding your funds for a little bit of time. I think that's still a thing. And yeah, quite often new shops are getting shut down sort of immediately. If you've not done anything wrong, basically the route is you just have to nag at Etys until they put it back up again. But check you've not done anything wrong. A lot of people are doing wrong things. Oh, Lulu, thank you. Yes, like for Pam. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. And Brian, hello again. Further expansion of non-handmade enforcement. Removing and reducing the visibility of items that don't belong on Etys continues to be top priority. And I think we all think this is a good thing, so long as they do it correctly. But yes, we know it's important to you too. It is. In 2024, we plan to further expand enforcement of our handmade policy, including categorizing the policy so it's more clear what can and can't be sold on Etys. Yes, like make it more clear, because some people, well, there's been a lot of interesting steps like with cashmere or with amber and things. People are like, can we sell them? We don't know. So we're holding ourselves accountable by tracking and reducing how often buyers come across these items. So yeah, it's also tracking and making sure that people don't see them. Yeah, what they were talking about as well, they're not going to get rid of everything. Obviously, there's millions and millions and millions of listings, but they're trying to prioritize making sure that there's less chance of the front page of search or anything like that being filled with violating things. Now, this is what they're wanting to do. It's not what they've done yet. So I know people are looking at this and going, oh no, but this is terrible. Etys have said all this, but I searched and I saw bad things. They haven't done it yet. They're working towards it. You can read the full report here, which we'll just have a look at in a minute. But here's some of the highlights. We made our automated detection system more precise, meaning we can more accurately identify problematic listings on Etys. Because of this improvement, as well as other enhancements, we've removed more than double the total number of listings that violated our policies compared to the year prior. Now, any of these kind of automated detection systems, like the year they're started should be the worst they'll ever be, and they'll hopefully keep on getting better. But obviously removed more than double, that does mean more ones will be wrongly flagged as well, but hopefully it's getting better, fingers crossed. We're focused on enforcing our handmade policy to ensure Etys is a place where your special, one-of-a-kind and handcrafted items can shine. As a result of our investments in improving our technology and expanding our detection capabilities, we've removed more than 4 times as many listings and suspended 2 times more sellers for violating our handmade policy for the previous year. So that is definitely interesting. Susanna, I've recently changed my second shop's name and was scared it would get suspended. I've heard it's happening. It's happened to someone. It was all good though. Yeah, I think my thinking here, changing your shop name, open it, all these things are allowed to do. What it seems to happen is doing any of these things awakens the algorithm to check you out. So you've got more chance of it noticing you, and if you're doing something wrong, it's more chance of it catching people, and so I suppose there's also more chance of it catching people incorrectly. So it's not that changing your shop's name or opening a new shop or creating a new listing or any of these things are bad things. It's just because the algorithm's wanting to catch the things that are at the front of search, that's going to be from the most active shops. That's going to be from the new listings, stuff that's renewed and sold. So it's probably prioritizing. It's gone like, oh, here's a new listing, let's check it, rather than your 4-month-old listing. It's probably less likely to look at it because it's going to prioritize the new things. Kira, hello there. In addition to removing listings, we're getting better at keeping items that violate our handmade policy from being seen or listed in the first place. We've reduced the number of policy violating listings that shoppers see by 60%, have more clearly highlighted our policies during the listing process, and are assuring badges like Star Seller and Etsy Picks are reserved for items that comply with our policies. Again, I don't think they're there yet, but yes, the focus is on listings that shoppers see. So the stuff that's ranking high on the front page of things, they're more likely to be more checked. But yeah, Star Seller and Etsy Picks, there's still some dodgy items in there, but that is possibly saying to me as well, if you're a Star Seller or have an item for Etsy Picks, that's potentially another one that they're going to be looking into, more likely to double check to make sure that it's not a dodgy item. So that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think. We reduced the time it takes for cases to be resolved to an average of just 2 hours, a significant improvement from the year before. It means buyers and sellers are getting help they need even faster, so you can get back to business. Actually, I hate this one. Oh, I was trying not to be salty, Pam. I dislike this one for the very good reason. If a metric that they're tracking that they think is good of getting down the time that it takes for cases to be resolved, that means they see it as a good thing to resolve cases quickly. But so often we're seeing a buyer opens a case and it's immediately resolved. So that means nobody's looking at it. It's an automated system. So we don't want that. Some cases are going to take time to resolve, and we would prefer they took the time to do it properly, because in the past, if a customer opened a case with you, you'd get a bit of time to work with them and see what's the problem, see if you can fix it, see if they're being unrealistic. But now it's like Etsy gives an unrealistic expectation of the shipping date. The customer opens a case and Etsy immediately refunds. And it's like, come on. Okay, that's just me. Let me know what you think. Debbie, 2 hours? Sure. Okay, here's the report. Let's dig into this. So, the transparency report. All about Etsy. Since 2005, Etsy has connected millions of buyers and sellers around the world, motivated and shared by a mission to keep commerce human. At Etsy, we're focused on elevating the best of our marketplace to help creative entrepreneurs grow their businesses. We continue to invest in making Etsy a safe and trusted place to shop so sellers' extraordinary items can shine. I hate business speak, but okay, they are talking about the things to do to make this better. Fair enough. Today, there are more than 100 million unique items for sale on our marketplace. I know, Brian, you want the exact number. I want the exact number. And our vibrant global community is made up of over 90 million active buyers and 7 million active sellers, the majority of whom are women and sole owners of their creative businesses. To support this growing community, our trust and safety team of product engineering, data and operations experts are dedicated to keep Etsy's marketplace safe by enforcing our policies and removing potentially violating or infringing items at scale. In 2023, we invested more than 50 million in the team's people, technology and operations, because we know how important it is to keep Etsy special, unique and safe as our community grows. Since 2015, we've released a transparency report annually to share our progress in this work. This report, covering January to December 2023, gives you an overview of our content policy enforcement, intellectual property takedowns, order issues, and requests for member information. We also share a glimpse into our priorities and progress for the year to come. We're not required to share all this information, but we choose to provide it because we're committed to transparency. Sarcasm. I can't do poker face. It's one of the many ways we continue to uphold our core company value of building a trusted brand for Etsy buyers and sellers. It is a good thing they released these reports. That tickles me. Yeah, Kira, yep. Brian, they're closing cases and jumping to refund too quickly, whether from their funds or ours. And when it's from the seller's funds, that's even worse. Like, if Etsy wants to throw money away, fair enough. But if your item isn't eligible for the purchase protection program, Etsy just refunds from your money. And it's not everybody's eligible. Like, Etsy labels aren't available everywhere, and you can't always get tracking. That's not standard in many places. So many people's items just aren't covered. Or if an item's more expensive, then it's back down to the $250. And it means if someone opens a case, because, I'm sorry, but Etsy's training them, if you open a case, you'll get your money straight away. I mean, that's kind of tempting, isn't it? So Etsy's training them. The customer's not trying to rip off the seller. It thinks it's ripping off. They think they're ripping off Etsy, but the money is just automatically taken from the seller. So that kind of sucks. So it's still too fast without wanting the seller, waiting for the seller and proving the buyer's at fault. Exactly. I mean, yeah, okay. I think there is an issue with that. This report only covers the Etsy marketplace and none of the subsidiary brands. I can't do words. Below is a detailed account of our efforts in 2023 to make our marketplace safer and more secure and keep it uniquely Etsy. Highlights include: overall, we improved the accuracy and precision of our controls by 5 times, enabling us to double the number of listings we removed for violating our policies. Right, is it just me here? This annoys me. What annoys me? This is a silly thing, but my engineering lecturer would have gone mad at this. We've increased the precision of our controls by 5 times, or as the cool kids say, 5x, because they don't know that x is a times. Anyway, 5 times, but we've done this by 60% and 216%. Keep your units the same. If it's 5 times or a percent, not both. Don't mix your units. Anyway, that's just me. I would have never got away with doing a report that had mixed things. We removed 4 times as many listings for violating our Handmade policy, and we reduced the rate at which users come across content that violated our Handmade policy on our site by 60%. So yeah, in 2023, they removed 4 times as many listings for violating our Handmade policy. And that's cool, but I think we all see there's many more items that need to be removed, and also very, very much we need to know clearer on some things of the policy. Yep, some people are deliberately being dodgy, but there's quite a lot of things that we literally don't know if they're allowed to be sold or not. And you can't message Etsy and ask them, because they just say, read the policies. We can't sort of pre-approve any listings. So it's a bit of a pain. We removed 216% more We removed 216% more listings. That's a funny way to word it. For potential IP or counterfeit violations due to more proactive detection and enforcement. Yeah, so there is the IP reporting portal, and you can Yeah, they are doing more there as well. We reduced the time it takes for cases to be resolved to an average of just 2 hours. We've already ranted on this. A significant improvement from the year before. This means buyers and sellers are getting the help they need even faster when an issue arises. Now, 2 hours for a human to look at it would be good. Teresa, yes, closing too quick. Most UK couriers run behind time and a lot don't update tracking as delivered till a week after sometimes. Yeah, not UK, not just UK. I hear that in the US, all sorts of places, a delivery driver might mark something as delivered when it's still in the van and they're coming out tomorrow to deliver it and stuff. Deb, if the bot found a listing due to violation it's privy to, then Etys should be able to state what your listing violated. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things they hold back to stop the scammers, but yeah, if you can say this was taken down because it contains amber, then you could be, oh, we're not allowed to have amber. Yeah. I don't think we're not allowed to have amber. I think the bot's too jumpy with that. But yes, if they know what the violation is, so tell us what the violation is. It's not really gonna, yes, if the violation is because of a word you have in your tags, that's a different thing, because then people would try and get around it by just not having the word in their tags. Like people think, oh, can I sell a Mickey Mouse item if I don't use Disney in my tags? No. Steamboat Willie, but we spoke about that before. So yes, they have to keep some things back, but in general, yeah, tell us. Policy enforcement. We expect every user to follow our policies, which we call our house rules, to ensure that Etys remains a marketplace where creativity, authenticity, and diversity thrive. We strive to write our policies as clearly as possible to help members around the world understand their rights and responsibilities when using Etys. When sellers open a shop on Etys, they commit to following the terms of use, including our seller policy, which outline what can be sold on Etys, and our customer service standards. Our trust and safety team is dedicated to detecting potential content violations and enforcing our policies when items or member accounts are flagged for violations. This includes actions like listing mass-produced items in our Handmade category or attempting to sell items outlined in our prohibited items policy. Our team uses a combination of automated systems and human review by policy specialists to monitor and remove policy violated listings and shops. Flags from our community members and trusted authorities are also an integral part of our trust and safety process. We strive to consistently enforce our policies and hold all members accountable to the same standard to strengthen trust in the community and maintain the integrity of our platform. 94% of flags generated by our internal automated systems. I know people are telling me all the time, they report things to Etys and it's still up months later. So I don't know if they're saying 90% of the flags, only 6% of the flags come from people reporting things because they ignore the other flags, or it really is just as low as 6%. But I know some people, not a lot of people, some people spend a lot of time reporting other people's items. And this article does say that Etys wants this. I would generally say sort of stay in your lane, but the items that shouldn't be on Etys, that are on Etys, do hurt us. They're hurting us all now. It didn't used to, but it's too many. It's making people think less of Etys. Insights from 2023. One of our key focus areas this year was improving the accuracy of our systems. In 2023, we made our internal automated detection systems 5 times more precise than they were in 2022. This enables us to remove more than double the number of listings here's some numbers, 3.8 million for violating our policies. So it definitely feels like a lot of items are being taken down because, okay, we know there's more than 100 million listings. So 3.8 million is, if it was just that would be like less than 4% of all listings on Etsy, but 3.8 million is a lot. Compared to the year before, more than double the number. Yeah, so the year before it was under 2 million they removed. So that's a pretty big jump, while reducing the overall number of flags by 10%. Okay, so there was less things flagged, but more than double removed. So the system is getting more accurate, hopefully. 94% generated by our internal systems. We determine that a flagged item violates Etsy. If we determine a flagged item violates Etsy's policy, we'll remove the item from the marketplace and notify the seller. In some cases, and with sellers who repeatedly violate our policies, we'll permanently refuse service to a member. In 2023, most actions were a result of alleged violations of our intellectual property policy and Handmade policy. Of the accounts we took action against in 2023, 47% were based in North America and 30% in Europe. 47% is, I think in the US, there's slightly more than 50% in North America, in the US, in fact. So, okay, so there's slightly more people outside America, outside the US, violating, but it's pretty close. Community reporting continues to be an important part of our policy enforcement process, and we want to equip our members with the right tools so they can more easily play their part in keeping our marketplace safe. We launched an updated member flag interface that better aligns with our marketplace policies. This way, members can more specifically identify the reason they're flagging an item, so it gets to the right team more quickly for a manual review. That's interesting. So they're saying things that we are flagging should go for a manual review. Interesting. I know people are saying these items aren't getting taken down, but Etsy's looking at it anyway. So we can see 94% of flags, things that were flagged up for being not good, came from Etsy's automated system, and 6% came from people. Accounts action for policy violations by region. So yeah, North America got 47%, Europe 30%, Asia 5%, 19% to the rest of the world. So yeah, Asia isn't the big problem just now. We'll keep an eye on this, but yeah, opening back up to the likes of China and India getting Etsy checkout and things like that. It's definitely not a big problem just now. We'll see next year, but I don't think it's going to be. So this is an idea of what the flagging place is. If you see something wrong, here's what it looks like. So yeah, it's not handmade, vintage, or craft. It's pornographic. It's hate speech. It's a threat to minor safety. It promotes violence or self-harm. It's dangerous or hazardous. It's violating a specific law or regulation. It violates a policy that's not listed here. So there's some of the things you can say if you see something you don't like. Enforcing our handmade policy and measuring our progress. Another top priority in 2023 was continuing to expand enforcement of our handmade policy, which requires that items listed as handmade may be either made or designed by the seller. These unique, they do need to tighten up what they mean by made or designed by the seller, because, well, yeah, I don't want to offend anybody, but there's levels of designed. These unique items created by Etsy sellers are what differentiates Etsy from any other online marketplace. We invest in improving our technology and expanding our detection capabilities to ensure Etsy remains the destination for special, one-of-a-kind and handcrafted items. As a result of these initiatives, we removed more than 4 times as many listings and suspended 2 times more sellers for violating our Handmade policy in 2023 than the year before. So yeah, suspended 2 times more sellers. They do repeat themselves an awful lot, don't they? I think this kind of report could be over and done with quite a bit quicker than this, but yeah. Our goal is to ensure, and there is some tidbits in here that are quite interesting, but we'll get to them. Our goal is to ensure users come across potentially volative items as infrequently as possible. To this end, we introduced a new metric in April 2023 that seeks to estimate how often users may see listings that may violate our Handmade policy before we have the chance to remove them. We call this the Not Handmade Volative View Rate, VVR. Oh boy. By the end of 2023, we reduced the not handmade VVR to the low single digits, a 60% improvement from April. A few efforts and initiatives helped us make progress in this area, including improving the precision of our automated detection systems, including enhancing the tools that help us detect when items are potentially being resold. Here's one of the tidbits. When items are potentially being resold on Etsy from mass market sites. So people are worried when Josh said last week about going to be if he sees things on AliExpress and sees them on Etsy, the item on Etsy will automatically be taken down. And people are saying, what if it's on my own website? Will I get in trouble for that? So it's from mass market sites. So sounds like it's going to be from the problematic sites like Temu, AliExpress and everything. If they see stuff there, they'll automatically take your items down. And if Temu had stolen them rather than you drop shipping them, then you can appeal. But yeah, it's not going to be a case if you're selling a similar thing that you're totally allowed to on your own website or Go Imagine or anywhere else. Adding more human reviews to our enforcement process. While automated systems allow us to review the millions of listings on Etsy, human reviews are critical to ensuring these decisions are accurate. Now, when a listing is flagged by our automated controls for potentially violating our Handmade policy, this is interesting. It'll remain active but not appear in the search results and recommendations in order to give our specialists time to review the listing. Our team will determine if it should be removed or if it can be sold on Etsy and be made visible again. This review typically takes between 24 and 48 hours. So it's interesting in that, yeah, so if the bot finds something, they're saying it shouldn't now be automatically taken down. It'll be shadow banned. I hate to use that term because people go, have my items been shadow banned? Now, yeah, basically they're being taken out of search and stuff. So it's still there, but it's not going to be promoted by Etsy. So you can still be getting sales if you're driving your own traffic, but it will nix your sales. But you should hopefully get it up between 24 hours and 48 hours later. So let me know what you think of that. I suppose it's much better that they're not just going to shut down the listing and then reinstate it if it's found to be okay. It is so the bot flags it, pulls it out of search and stuff, and then the human comes in and decides if it's right or wrong. So that's good in 2 ways, in that you're not having your items taken down and having to fight for them, but it's also training the bot. The bot's going through and picking out things and the human's going, good robot, we'll take that down, or bad robot, you got it wrong. So it's a bit of training and it's a bit of good, hopefully. that's my take on it anyway. Improving integrity across our ecosystem. In addition to our efforts to remove listings that violate our policies, we're working to prevent non-handmade items from making their way onto Etsy in the first place. Interesting. For sellers, we're better emphasizing Etsy policies during the listing process. We've added messaging and reminders about what types of items and listing images do and don't belong in our marketplace. And that's true. There is stuff up there, hopefully a little more training. If they're more transparent about certain things, it would be cool if there's problematic keywords. It could flag things up. I'm going to keep banging on about amber, but if you put amber in a tag, maybe it could pop up a thing to say, is your item this, that, or the other thing? You maybe can't sell it, or yeah, it would be good. It can't do that with copyright IP infringing things unless, I think the IP portal, you can put your trademarks into Etsy so it automatically flags them. So it'd be nice if it automatically flagged listings, but I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud there. For third parties, many companies integrate with Etsy via our public API to provide sellers with a wide range of valuable tools and services. In 2023, we revoked API access to several countries whose products enabled the listing and selling of mass-produced policy-violating items. And yeah, we saw that. Etsy, it wasn't just mass-produced and policy-violating items. It changed quite a few things. It revoked access. It even revoked some access from eRank, but it wasn't access that eRank had ever used, so it didn't affect us. But yeah, that was definitely a bit of a moment when Etsy sent out an email going, we see you use eRank, we're blocking access to this, and people freaked out, and we're like, well, we never used that. So yeah, that was a fun one. I'd forgot about that. Bringing more rigor to programs like Star Seller and Etsy Picks to ensure we don't unintentionally highlight items that may violate our policies. So yeah, if you're a Star Seller, this is kind of interesting. So people thought being a Star Seller was a good thing and wanted it, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're potentially more likely to get your dodgy listings taken down because they're going to focus on looking at the Star Sellers. Oh, Deb, yes, my amber glass bottles were constantly deactivated, and Etsy says if I continued to list amber glass bottles, it would shut down my shop. Kind of not friendly to me due to the word amber. Absolutely, yeah, that really annoys me because the Etsy policies have nothing against amber glass bottles. And Kristen asking what's so bad about amber. It's never been made 100% clear, but what it seemed to be was there was a case because people were selling amber, like teething toys for babies, and a baby choked on an amber teething thing. So the listing policies got very confusing, and they were talking about beads on amber beads of a certain size, or it didn't make a whole lot of sense to anybody, and they weren't clear about it. But the policy was never against amber glass. It was never against people whose names were amber, but the bot was flagging up everything amber. And so, like, Deb was getting hit. Obviously, amber glass bottles, that's not a thing that's impacted by this baby teething ring thing. And if you're listing glass bottles, it's really cool to know the amber ones because you want some light blocking things for some. You want to know clear and amber. It's the same. I'm thinking I buy glass eyes for my needle felted dogs. You have clear ones, you have blue ones, you have black ones, and you have amber glass eyes. It's not a baby thing. Oh, Brian's remembered it. Cool. Someone was gifted an amber teething bracelet that was bought from Etys and the baby died. They went 100% on amber, even though they said it was only beads under a certain size. Yep, the policy was so confusing. In my head, it was like beads under a certain size on a chain that like this length, and it never made any sense, but it certainly was never a bottle. It was never an amber bottle. That was... Yeah, things like that they need to sort out. Like Debbie, can you imagine Debbie getting her shop shut down? Like we would all be out. Like, Etys, no, that's not happening. Intellectual property enforcement. Now, this is a big one. As a venue for artists, designers, and makers, Etys takes intellectual property rights seriously. We require sellers to confirm they have all necessary intellectual property rights for the content they upload to their Etys shop. Our IPP is intellectual property policy is based on industry best practices, worldwide intellectual property laws, and region-specific laws such as the DMCA. Our legal response and enforcement team is responsible for reviewing reports of alleged infringement. Under our policies, rights holders or their authorized representatives can submit IP reports identifying content that they believe infringes on their rights via the Etys reporting portal, a central hub for reporting potential IP violations. Our enforcement team reviews every submission, and Etys is committed to quickly removing any reported listings that don't comply with our IPP, as well as clearly communicating actions taken as a result of reports to affected members and third-party reporters. This one is very different because it's a legal thing and there's not much Etys can do about it. There's the law like the DMCA. If someone puts in a DMCA strike, if they say to Etys, this is mine, deal with it, Etys has to deal with it according to the laws. So we can't say what they're doing is good or bad here. And trademark things are very, very dodgy because people can trademark all sorts of things they shouldn't be able to, but that's not an Etys issue. The Etys reporting portal lets rights holders, including sellers and their agents, to more easily report alleged infringements. Users can save their information, report multiple listings at once, and track the statuses of their reports. In 2023, the majority, 57% of all IP reports we received were submitted through the reporting portal, and usage continues to grow each month. In 2023, Etys processed 122,927 alleged infringement reports. So actually, people are getting their stuff taken down for IP infringement. If you consider the 100 million listings on Etys, 122,000 is not a lot. It feels like a lot because people are complaining about it, but it's not a lot. 24% increase from the year prior, but they removed a total of 1.2 million listings, a 10% increase from 2022. So yeah, they're removing a lot more than reporting. I suppose maybe that means people are reporting more than one item. They're with lots of things, but anyway, it's only 1.2 million listings were taken down for IP issues. It's much less than it feels like if you're on any forums. We also continue to scale and enhance our anti-counterfeiting program through innovative products and technologies, including leveraging machine learning. We removed 1.45 million listings in 2023 for potential counterfeit violations through flags generated by our internal systems. Well, they're also calling counterfeit, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe things like if you buy some fancy designer bag and put sparkles on it, they call that counterfeit, though it's not. It's a different thing. But I might be wrong there. It's a 216% increase from 2023, reflecting enhancements to our proactive controls to combat potential IP violations and counterfeiting. We closed 31,635 shops for repeat infringement or counterfeiting. Again, that's much less than I thought. 25% increase from 2022. Tackling counterfeit items continues to be a priority for our trust and safety team. That's kind of their job. We'll continue to thoughtfully expand our enforcement efforts, partner with rights holders to remove suspected counterfeit goods, and leverage technology to more quickly detect and remove those listings. Yeah, guys, if you didn't create it yourself and you don't have permission from the person who did, and by create, I don't mean you drew Mickey Mouse all by yourself. I mean, you came up with the idea absolutely by yourself. And if you are putting words on t-shirts or things like that, check that nobody's trademarked the phrases, because popular phrases can be trademarked. Reporting parties formally withdrew their reports of alleged infringement for 2% of reported listings. We rejected 26% of reports in 2023, a 54% increase from 2022. That's good, the number rejected as well, because there are some people who see their competition and want them shut down, so they'll fraudulently report them. I don't think it's too many. Well, 26% they said no to, so that's higher than I thought. That's not necessarily just from that case, but yeah, indicative of our increased focus on preventing fraudulent and abusive takedown notices. Yeah. Good, that's important, because it's a sucky thing that people used to bell to on the run up to Christmas, report your bestseller, so they got the sales themselves and you were sitting in limbo waiting to get your listing back up. Etys may reject a report of infringement if we're unable to verify the person submitting the report is authorized to act on behalf of the intellectual property owner. So that's it. You can't contact Etys and tell them, get that listing by my competitor taken down because it's got Disney stuff on it, because you can't speak for Disney. Or when the report otherwise fails to comply with Etys requirements. When a seller's listing is removed in response to a copyright infringement report, in certain cases, sellers can file a counter notice in accordance with the DMCA Act. In 2023, sellers filed counter notices for 9% of copyright infringement reports, 9% more than 2022. Yeah, if somebody does come after you with the DMCA, they're saying, this is mine, you can come at them and say, nope, I disagree with that. And they either have to let it go, well, there's a whole legal palaver, but generally they have to let it go or come at you and take you to court. So that is 9% of people had astoundingly large balls to stand up and say, no, take me to court, bucko. That's good. Knitix World, if the colour amber, change it to mustard. Yeah, you can do burnt orange. Yes, if it's just a colour of things, you can change them. But a lot of people, obviously, not everyone keeps up with everything to do with Etsy. So if you quite rightly had amber bottles, you wouldn't necessarily know why your listings are being taken down. Okay, so I like these stats. So here we go. 6 of all the IP takedowns, 61% were due to copyright, 37% due to trademark, 1% patent, and 2% other. That's cool. Yeah, good to see these numbers. Who's reporting? 58% of people were from North America, 31% Europe, 8% Asia, 4% rest of the world. Not much to say on that. It's cool. Product safety on Etsy. Etsy sellers agree to follow our prohibited items policy as part of Etsy's seller policy, which outlines what items are prohibited or restricted on Etsy, including several categories of unlawful goods and dangerous products, such as hazardous materials, recalled items, and weapons. And I have seen there's some people make some beautiful knives on Etsy, but check out the prohibited items policy. The prohibited items policy helps us ensure a safe, trusted environment for our community of buyers and sellers. In addition, our product safety principles underscore our commitment to safety. It's an interesting thing I watched a while ago. It was something about Amazon, how they deal with weapons and things, because a big problem, you could say, I make knives, I'm selling them, I should be able to do that. But a big problem can be that if a kid logs into their parents' account, they can order knives. So that's something that people worry about. But anyway, Etsy has their reason for their prohibited policy, but that was an interesting thing. Paige, I'd like to figure out how to list wire-wrapped and amber barrettes. But I suppose this will be for in-person shows. Until Etsy tells us what's going on with amber, I think if Debbie was getting told she'd be shut down for her bottles, I'd be very careful with jewellery. I can't advise anything else, sadly. Yeah. Etsy's product safety principles. Prevention. We employ a broad range of tools and resources to help detect and remove products that don't meet our standards and mitigate risk of reappearance. We work hard to maintain the integrity of our marketplace and continually seek opportunities to enhance our tools and processes, including those presented by new or emerging technologies. Oh yeah, they will. They're going to have to think about AI, aren't they? Education. Our teams work to empower our buyers and sellers with educational tools and resources to help buyers make informed purchasing decisions and help sellers understand requirements to sell on Etsy, which includes compliance with relevant regulations, local laws, and Etsy policies. It is a difficult thing. We do need to know what's going on, but there are some cases where them telling us exactly why something's been flagged helps the scammers avoid the systems, but we need to know. Etsy alerts. We maintain clear and direct means for verified authorities and trusted partners to easily notify us of product safety concerns. Additionally, we welcome any Etsy user to flag a listing with concerns about products to help inform our enforcement efforts. I wouldn't say spend masses of time reporting Etsy listings, but if you are, I suppose it's something we can do, because we should be shopping on Etsy, and quite a lot of us aren't shopping on Etsy because the search is awful. So if the search page is awful and you're absolutely sure the item shouldn't be there, yeah, maybe spend 10 minutes to flag things. Quick action. If a regulatory authority or law enforcement provides us with sufficient information they deem a product unsafe, we take prompt action to remove the item from a seller's shop. That's fair. If the police come knocking at your door and say, take this down, take it down. Cooperation. We value the expertise of regulatory authorities and third-party experts in detecting unsafe products. This is probably part of the Amber thing. We work closely with these partners to maintain marketplace integrity. If they notify us about a product safety issue that impacts our users, we'll work with these authorities in accordance with our privacy policy and applicable laws to inform those who are affected. Do better informing. That's all I can say there. Continuing commitment. We understand that product safety is an evolving space and will hold ourselves to these principles as the community of buyers and sellers grow. We publicly demonstrate our continuing commitment and hold ourselves accountable by annually reporting performance against our policies. For all my sarcasm, it is a good thing. If nothing else, they have to sit down and think about this to produce a report. They have to have thought about it and said, what are we looking at? What are problems? What are we doing well? So you can improve things that you're looking at. Insights from 2023. Etys takes product safety seriously, as it should. As part of our dedication to safety, Etys signed the EU Product Safety Pledge in 2021, which encourages participating online platforms to go beyond their legal obligations to better protect consumers' safety. In 2023, we furthered our commitment by joining the Enhanced Product Safety Pledge Plus, which expanded our responsibilities in areas like assisting with product recalls. It's interesting. I don't mind these things if they were just clearer about it. Not we're getting rid of all amber, but this is what we are doing. This is why we're doing it. This is what you can and can't sell. Exactly. In 2023, we continued to remove items both proactively and reactively to address potential product safety issues, including in response to product safety recall alerts and regulatory notices. We removed 63% more items that were subject to product recalls compared to the prior year. Interesting how handmade stuff can be subject to product recalls. We also continued our collaboration with regulators and law enforcement worldwide, continuing to learn about product safety trends and opportunities and evolve our tools, controls, and processes to more efficiently detect potentially unsafe and unlawful products at scale. Product safety continues to be a priority of various regulators and policymakers worldwide. We'll continue, excuse me, to evolve our program and adapt to new regulations. Oh, I've been talking for a very long time. Emerging trends and best practices, and collaborate with regulators and other stakeholders to keep Etys safe. Okay, we're on to resolving order issues. Etys sellers offer great customer service. Let's start this. Let's do the butter up paragraph. If a buyer experiences an issue with their order, sellers are the first point of contact to help resolve it quickly. Buyers can easily reach out by starting a help with order request from their purchases and reviews page and selecting their order issue from the drop-down. Typically, 87% of order issues are resolved between the buyer and seller without Etys getting involved. I will say I do like it that when they hit help with an order, they've got to wait 2 days before they can open a case. So that does make things a little better. If the issues can't be resolved between the buyers and the seller, the buyer can then open a case and ask Etys to resolve the issue. While we always recommend reaching out to the seller first and opening a case if needed, buyers can also contact Etys through chat, phone, or email at any time, which is fair. Some sellers are scum, and it's good that they don't have to speak to them if the seller's been awful. The Etys Purchase Protection Program, which we launched in August 2022, makes our purchase protection policies clearer and more easily available for buyers and sellers. Well, for buyers, seller? Well, you can find the policy, but it doesn't mean that their listings can't be included in it. By improving the resolution experience for buyers in the rare case something goes wrong, Etys Purchase protection enables buyers to shop more confidently. This is bringing buyers back to shop more often on Etys. Fair enough. With Etys Purchase Protection, buyers receive a full refund for their products that don't match the item description, don't arrive damaged or never arrive, in line with our policy. We also invest directly in our sellers by providing support and coverage when unexpected happens. Etys will cover certain refunds on the seller's behalf for orders that meet the Etys purchase protection eligibility requirements. It's good when it works. It's good. I think it's the cases are closed too quickly and Etys just gives out money. I think that shouldn't be. Lulu, did the baby die of poisoning? No, I think it choked on the amber, the size of the beads. I don't think amber's toxic to chew upon. Insights from 2023. This year, Etys made it even easier for buyers to report an issue and get them resolved with the Etys Purchase Protection Program by proactively reaching out to buyers when they think there may be an issue with their order. This helped more buyers easily report order issues and led to faster resolutions. Yeah, I know Etys sort of do that. I think they say, oh, your item should be with you now. Is it with you? Have you had a problem? Do you want to complain about this? However, in 2023, just 0.5% of orders resulted in a case compared to 0.4% in 2022. So that has gone up and it will do. I hope they are keeping track of the customers that continually open cases to get their money back. But anyway, 5% of orders resulted in a help with order request, which is flat compared to last year. I mean, yeah, 5%. I mean, help with orders. I quite often, when people buy from me, they have to message me pictures of their pet. Sometimes they don't know how to do the message and they hit a help with order and we chat there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It means they didn't know what else to click, basically. On average, cases were resolved by our team in just 2 hours. Yeah, so in 2022, cases were resolved in 14 hours. And they got it down to 2 hours. Did they get it down to 2 hours with better customer support? Nope, they just automatically refund. This was achieved through optimization of our case system and operations. No, you put a bot in place that had a big wallet. An easy resolution on Etys is when a buyer gets their item or a refund in less than two contacts and under 5 days from the date they submit their report. And so Etys is tracking customers that don't have to contact more than twice, which in the past, if an item was late, I would say, can you check at your post office? Can you check at your neighbours? And can you wait a couple of days? I would usually say a week if it was international shipping. Can you wait a week and next Monday can you message me and let me know if the item still hasn't turned up? And the customer would get back to me, we'd chat, everything would be fine. But now Etys is wanting everything resolved in less than 2 contacts. It's not always possible. I get that a lot of sellers are very bad at customer support and they assume they're getting scammed whenever a customer has any kind of problem. So I get why this system was in place. Anyway, our easy resolution rate increased from 62.1% up from 58.5% the prior year. The increase was a result of the proactive outreach we introduced, which led to faster resolution for buyers. Let me know what you guys think. I think the purchase protection program's a good idea, but it doesn't need to be so fast. A request for member information or action. Etys privacy policy details how we handle member information and reflects our commitment to member privacy and transparency. Beyond these policies, Etys seeks to adopt and maintain appropriate privacy and data security practices. So Etys only collects and uses data we reasonably need in order to provide you with the services. Yep, that's legal. It's your data. We believe you should have control over your data. We provide you with tools to easily access, download, and edit the data we've collected, and allow you the choice to close your account and delete your data. Yeah, this is all legal things about the data. Yeah. Increased seller education and resources. There is a link to this in the comments if you want to read bits. I'm running over, but I don't think there was anything in there that was important. Increased seller education and resources. In 2023, we continued to publish and promote relevant policy and security education to sellers to help minimize disruption to running their business. We updated our policy violation communications to be more direct and transparent, listing out exactly which policy was violated. That you need to do this a lot more. Listing any immediate or future impacts on the shop, and included upfront education on how they might avoid further policy violations. We included new banners and labels in the shop manager when a policy is violated, including highlighting exactly which listing violated which policy directly in the listing manager. I've not seen anyone saying that the banner told them they know which listing violated quite a lot of the time. I've never heard anyone say they know which policy they violated. It's just specific, just saying you violated the policies. Here's the link, go and read them for yourself. It would be nice if they were more open about that. We care about keeping sellers' accounts safe and helping them thrive. On Etys, so last year we kicked off our efforts to develop enhanced education and protections to help sellers avoid scams that target new business owners. Yep. We've updated the account security checklists and launched new seller communications focused on the most relevant account security risks facing sellers on Etys and tips for protecting their accounts. Yep. Two-factor authentication. One that's annoying for me. In your emails, you don't get to see the body of the conversation. So if you see, if you're a needy human like me and you see you've got an email and you open the email and I have to go into Etys. Whereas before I could just look at my email and go, oh yeah, that doesn't need dealt with just now. Because I have all my notifications for everything turned off on my phone because I hate that little box bothering me with things. I just look and go, oh, I have an email. Right, fine. Yep, so here's the new policy violation message. That is far too blurry for me to read, but yeah, we've removed listings that don't follow our policies. I don't think it tells you exactly what the policy was. And here's one, if you're clicking on a link, this is a standard thing. You're clicking on a link, you're about to leave Etys. It is good to know. Oh, here, Kristen. I think it's bad. A friend of mine had a bad scammer customer who wanted things for free. She refused. The lady ordered and demanded a refund. She denied, but Etys gave it to the customer anyway. Yeah, Etsy's training customers to be like that. I hate that. So when the lady ordered again, my friend just cancelled her order immediately. Good for her. That's what you got to do. Etys marketplace continues to expand globally, and we're operating in an increasingly complex, adversarial, and regulated environment. Yeah, worldwide. The world's crazy. We'll continue to invest heavily in the people, systems, and technology to keep our marketplaces safe and special in our mission to keep commerce human. This year, we'll continue to amplify Etys' efforts to uplift quality listings and provide quality user experience. We'll focus on suppressing and removing problematic and policy violating content to ensure the best of what Etsy sellers have to offer can shine. In addition to expanding on the 2023 efforts outlined, our key focus areas in 2024 include, okay, this is the important bits probably. Enhancing seller verification. We're enhancing and expanding our seller verification process for new and existing sellers. Now, that page just takes you to the onboarding page where it says what's going to happen with new, but for new and existing sellers, because we recognize that knowing who our sellers are is foundational to promoting trust and supporting positive buying and selling experiences. I wonder if they're planning a little more verification for starting with star sellers or something. Let me know what you think. Evolving marketplace policies. We're updating and strengthening our marketplace policies in adult content, hate, violence, and off-platform transactions. You can't take people off to buy things off Etsy to continue to align with our evolving industry standards, better protect our marketplace and members from harm, and increase clarity for our community around what can and can't be sold on Etsy. Increase clarity on what that would be good. We're also clarifying our policies to buyers and sellers on what belongs on Etsy and why, including emerging areas such as AI-generated content. So that sounds like this year we're going to hear something about AI. That I don't know what. Strengthening policy enforcement. We're continuing to improve our policy enforcement efforts, including investing additional resources to strengthen our anti-counterfeiting and product safety programs. Reducing not handmade VVR. We're working to further reduce not handmade VVR by removing more potentially volatile listings that are flagged by our automated systems from search and recommendation until they can be reviewed from a member of our team. So it sounds like, yeah, the bots are going to remove a lot more stuff. So the team's going to be busy. Fair enough. Just be aware, the bot is the worst. It's going to get better in the future, so it's going to be taking down some stuff that shouldn't be taken down yet. Protecting our users from spams and scams in messages. Connections between sellers and buyers are integral to our mission to keep commerce human, but not all messages are well-intentioned, as we know so many scammers. One of our top priorities this year is to enhance our policy enforcement in messages to ensure they aren't being used to facilitate harassment, scams, exploitations, or other policy violations. We believe all these efforts will help to ensure Etsy continues to be a place where creativity thrives. So, I don't know, let me know. My take home from this is more of the same. We're going to get told a little bit about AI by the sounds of it. Hopefully Etsy is going to be more transparent about some of these things if they violate Etsy policies. We're going to see lots more people saying stuff's been taken down, but the vast majority of it probably shouldn't have been on Etsy in the first place. There's still going to be lots of problems. That it takes time to fix things. It's not going to be fixed immediately, but this is what their focus is. I am concerned, thinking about that they're talking about verifying existing sellers and things, so that could be interesting. But yeah, we'll see. But let me know what you all think. Couple of interesting things. Them saying that the flagging of sort of duplicated content is not going to be in your own website or whatever. It's only in these big sites like if AliExpress has copied your items, then your items will likely be taken down and you're going to have to fight to get them back up. But not if you have your own website. Yeah. Kristen, they need to have an AI button. When I made a KDP listing for my book, they had a button to click if your items were AI generated. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be seeing. Etsy did say in their quarterly report as well that they're looking at, customers want to know how handmade something is. So is it AI generated? Is it done by a production print on demand company? Is it, all the things to say, how much did the seller put into this listing? It's not, AI isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is a bad thing if you're just going to ChatGPT and saying, write me a book about this thing. And then you go to DALL-E or whatever and go, make me a cover for the book. And you put them together. And yeah, that's not very good. At least read the book that your AI writes for you. But yeah, that's my feeling. Not a whole lot in there. I think, although it feels like lots of shops and listings are getting taken down, in the great big scheme of things, with the hundreds of thousands of listings on Etsy, it's probably not as much. Patricia, have you seen some of the AI artwork? What? You have a problem with 17 fingers and some of them somewhere in the neck? Yeah, some of it's really bad. Some's beautiful, but it all does have, you kind of know when it's AI, even if it doesn't have the wrong number of appendages. But yeah, it definitely needs a bit of work. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me as we went through that. Hopefully next week Etsy won't be releasing a report and we can have an easier time. You have to look very closely. You don't even have to look very closely. There's just a feel. It's like when you read the stuff that AI's written, the feel of it just doesn't feel human. And the art is just not human. And yet, Brian, there is art to making a good prompt. And I think AI is a fantastic tool. We were talking about the AI listing tool on eRank. Love it. I love, like when I'm creating felted sculpture, sometimes I have an image in my head, but it's not clear enough to create. So I can sit and I can chat to a chatbot and say, I'm thinking about this kind of thing. And it creates something and I adapt it and go back in and, we have a collaborative effort. And then I get an image that I then go and create a 3D object out of. But yeah, that's very different from someone saying, make a purple cat and then selling those purple cats. There is art to making a good prompt. And oh my goodness, there is art to working with Chatty properly. I have had some serious words with her about the fact that, has anyone even tried, like when you say you want to make an Etsy listing, I tried to work on this and just say, right, I fed in all the rules of Etsy and I said, I want to make a listing of this. Can you give me title tags and description? And it ignored half of the rules. And I'd go back and go, okay, that's got more than 13 tags. That's got more than 20 characters. And she'd be like, okay, I'll fix that, and didn't. Patricia, it does look post-apocalyptic. I can never say that word. Apocalyptic. And it's really cool, but they all look about the same. Oh, that's kind of scary because I'm thinking like large language models and the art things, they've been trained on everything they can get their hands on, whether we agree with that or not, but they've been trained on all of these things. So it's almost like what comes out is the average of what a human would make. So do we all do post-apocalyptic? Are we all sort of end of the world type things in our work? Yeah. Brian, the term art gets watered down quite a bit in these situations. Yeah. I mean, there's some incredibly fun tools and filters that I think we were playing around last year on Facebook with filters that made you into like Egyptian gods or something. It was great fun. I'm not an artist for having created them. So, people selling them afterwards, like, yeah, no, it's not art. Patricia, 5 arms, fish with no heads. It's an uncomfortable feel to look at the art. Yeah. But even if they don't get it wrong, it's still a bit weird. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I have been live for 2.5 hours now. I'm exhausted. But I've really enjoyed this. We will have to do some more lives, but not on Thursday. Anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.